Hey guys, I'd like to talk to you today about what the best processor is, and I want some feedback. I want your guys' thoughts on this. And there's a lot of good processors out there, and I'm very fond of Multitech. Bell's is another machine. It's a very good processor. I've been around them, but I've never owned one. Now, Multitech I've owned for 14 years. I've had 4 of them, and have very good luck with all of them. Cut a lot of wood, thousands and thousands and thousands of cords of wood with Multitech. Now, I think my personal experience that the best processor out there is a processor designed for the size and diameter of wood that you're producing. That seems pretty straightforward, right? Well, there's a lot of options out there. What's good, what's bad, what's productive, what's reliable. Everything comes at a cost, right? So, that all determines the size of wood that you do. If you're putting small wood through a big slasher blade saw, you're not going to get production. I don't care what anybody says. It's not going to happen, right? So I'm just going to show you the size of wood that we run and get some ideas here from you fellas. So, that we run all 8-foot wood. For instance, like this log we're looking at right here, these are approximately 12 to 13 inches in diameter, right? Pretty good sized wood, big production, if that's what you had all the time. But as you can see the small wood. They're small. We have, well, it would probably take me 5 minutes to walk back there. Like that row there, that goes back, well, as far as you can see, right? Actually, about twice as far as you can see. But if you actually stop and look at the diameter of the wood, like we're talking, there's my hand, there's a stick. Well, you're taking sticks like that, and like that, and like that, and you're putting them through a big slasher blade with a 100 horsepower motor that'll buzz a 16-inch block off in half a second. Well, you're not going to get production with the small stuff, right? It's going to do it. I'm not saying it won't work. I'm saying it's not going to be efficient and it's not going to be productive. Where a smaller processor is ideal for that size of wood, but not so ideal for the bigger stuff. Like that big birch there, like, it's not big, but it's, 12. That one's probably 16 inches because it's kind of crappy there from side to side. But anyways, make a long story short here, it's I think the right thing to do is have 2 processors in a commercial firewood operation. I think a guy, he's picking up a stick here that the logger's dropped here on the ground. It's about to freeze here, and I'm just kind of cleaning the yard up a bit. A processor set up to do the small wood, and a processor set up to do the big wood. Not every operation can afford to do that. It all depends on volumes you plan on doing, right? Like we do a large volume of wood, so it really is necessary for us to be efficient, right? So, we got wood all up that road. You can see those piles all there, and like we have a fair amount of inventory in right now. We'll have more before winter, I'm sure. But so anyways, this is what I decided to do. I always had 2 Multitechs. I sold one of them, and I kept my slasher blade, 48-inch blade slasher, and I bought, I'm not even know if I'm saying it right, maybe I'm crazy, but a Push, P-O-S-C-H 375 circular blade, small PTO driven processor. And I'm going to set it up opposite to where my big processor is, and that way there, when you're offloading with the loader, you can feed both processors basically at the same time. So when you bring a load of wood over with our loader, you can sort through the pile as you're unloading it. You put the small pieces on the small processor, big pieces on the big processor. So in theory, we're going to be able to cut more wood with a small processor, but also in theory is you're separating that small stuff out of the big processor, so cords per hour should increase with the big processor as well, right? So, if we can gain a little production on that, plus have a avenue of being able to saw our small logs efficiently, it's a win-win, right? As you can see, like that pile there, that's all it's beautiful firewood once it's done up. But, you know, you're all looking at the sticks, you know, 6 to 10 inches, which is not ideal. Like, you know, you take a big circular blade machine and you put 14 to 18 inch logs through it, well, your output is going to be probably, in all reality, somewhere in the 3.5 to 4 cord an hour. But not with this stuff. This stuff mixed in, it kills production. It drops you down to the 1.5 to 2 cord per hour, which you should be up closer to 3. Same as them piles there. They go all the way up there. It's about 700 foot long, that pile. So, same as all this. So we can't get away from the small wood. That's what it boils down to. So, you know, instead of cursing the small wood, get a processor to do it. So I'm really hoping this 375 push, hope I'm saying it right, is going to really be the answer. We've had small PTO machines before. We had Hackies, we had Palexes, and in all honesty, I wasn't impressed with any of them. They were okay, but, you know, the chains and bars and oil and, you know, downtime, it's all fun and games when you're there with a one-man show. Time's not important because it's only your own, but when you got a hired hand doing all this stuff, time is money, and you can't be messing around with chains and bars and dirty wood, especially in the summer cut wood. You know, all of our wood is portered wood, but it's you get a certain amount of sand and grit, and I don't care, I've done firewood long enough to know that circular blade is better than a chain. So anyways, I'm going to show you our operation just real quick since I'm back over here at the woodyard. And here's our setup. It's inside a building. This is a Multi-Tech 2025. It's a homemade live deck on it here, 26 feet long. Here's our new trailer. We bought this one about 6 months ago. It's a Pharma 5.3. And I don't know what size the trailer is, a T8 I guess they call it. And it's a great trailer. We had the same model as that, but just one size smaller for 6 years and had very good luck with it. You know, average wear and tear things. She's hooked to a versatile 90-30. Can't say enough about that old thing. Not much to look at, but it's a great power plant for running a hydraulic pump to run the trailer. You know, you're in out of the weather. You know, there's no bells and whistles, but there's a radio and a heater, and that's all that matters in the cold months. So yeah, here's a view from the saw side. So she's a 48-inch blade. This here's a homemade conveyor. I made this conveyor. It's a single chain in a groove, 81X chain. It works super good, and goes through my disc cleaner. There's a few videos of my disc cleaner on there if you ever want to see them, or if you got any questions. I don't mind answering anything. Like, I made all this stuff. You know, I'm not a machinist by any means, and for you to build one, you don't got to be either. It's a lot of this stuff is pretty common stuff if you're mechanically inclined whatsoever. You know, in the winter months when you got a little time. For instance, like that project right there, I took that on and I got about 4,000 in it, Canadian money, and it's as good as one that costs 15,000 American, or whatever they cost. So I'm gonna go show you my little power pack here.